Well, greetings and welcome, everybody. This is the day that God has made, and we rejoice, 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 and are glad in it. I see we have people already joining us. So if you are on, why don't you go ahead and share this, share this, share this. This is Dr. LaDonna Sanders and Kosi. I see we've got YouTube on LinkedIn. I want to just say a big welcome. I see Lillian from Rwanda is on. I want to go over to Instagram. I want to say welcome as we are joining in. Why don't you let us know where you're checking in live from? This is the Globalcast, Global Check-in, and we have something very special today. In fact, I want to ask you to grab a piece of paper, grab your journal, grab something because we're going to do a journal exercise. Many of you know we are doing journaling for the new year retreat this weekend, and we wanted to give you a piece of that experience. So, share this. We want to greet our LinkedIn fam, Facebook, on all of our channels, all of our pages. We are here. We want to hear where you're coming in from. Yes, and I want to thank you so much for joining us. We're going to get right down to it today. As I'm asking you to share this, I'm going to share this also on the pages, some of my extra pages. Share it, send somebody a DM, say Globalcast is on. And we are on this week starting out the new year. My name is Dr. LaDonna Sanders and Kosi. I'm back in the Globalcast studio. I have been in Rwanda for the last year and pretty much and am back. And so we really wanted to greet you all to come on, and we have something very special for us today. I want to let you know that before we get into our journaling experience, I just want to welcome you. I want to see who's here. Um, and I just want to, I wonder if I can turn on my WhatsApp. We have our WhatsApp people are here. So I want to greet everybody on WhatsApp and tell you that we are on live Globalcast. So come on over to YouTube and join us, LinkedIn, Instagram. We are live. And I just want to give a shout out to the prayer partners and thank you for praying with us as we are on. Um, Let me see. Our theme for this January and as we launch into the new year is do what you love. Somebody type in the comment section, do what you love and do more of what you love. So as we are getting into this New Year's experience, I know you probably made some resolutions and me too. But I want to ask you, what is it you love? And what is one thing you would like to do to add what you love into this experience of life? So that is our theme. And let me just see who's here. Again, as you're checking in, I want to get right to our journaling questions. And I also want to let you know if you are joining us on Facebook, you can actually give us stars that'll support our global reach. And next week, we'll be telling more of you, actually starting tomorrow, how you can connect in with us at Ubuntu Global Village and our Ubuntu Global community. Many of you know we have community members throughout the world, including the US, but also in South Africa, Rwanda, and around the world. I don't want to leave anybody out. Eswatini, Uganda. But we just want to say a big welcome to everybody. So this year, we're launching in, and we specialize in global retreats. Somebody type global retreats. And we are hosting our first global retreat of the year is coming in for us, and it's going to be in February. We're going to launch a Black History Month, and so you can sign up for that. We will post the links in the chat, or you can reach out to us directly at global team at revladonna.global. We also will, by request, we're also going to be going in May 28th through June 5th, and this will be to Rwanda. I just spent the year in Rwanda, almost a year, a little more than a year after going there for a short trip, a group trip in 2022. I returned to Rwanda in October of 2022 to complete my doctoral thesis. And I had not done it for years, but when I got to Rwanda, I was able to complete my doctoral thesis. I actually completed the first draft and then returned in January 2023. And as I did that, I really was able to settle in there in Rwanda. And one of the things I noticed immediately the first time I was in Rwanda, and many of you all know we have been traveling for years to South Africa, and I had not traveled before that. Uh, before I had not traveled since 2019, and then there was the pandemic, and so I started to travel. Went to London the first time, and then went to Rwanda that first time. Once I returned to Rwanda, and even that very first time, it was like I didn't realize how stressed out I was as a leader, as just living life during the pandemic, journeying with people through those experiences and dealing with a lot of other things that were going on. And when I got to Rwanda, it was a sense that a weight lifted up off my shoulders. And it brought me back to the vision that God had given me in 2003 when I first landed in Durban, South Africa. These bridges across the waters, and the assignment to build bridges across the waters. And in that vision, I understood that as we go back and forth across the waters, as we connect in relationship, that there's restoration, there's healing, and so many things. And so while I was in Rwanda, I really had this desire to bring leaders for refreshment. And we've been doing this work for a long time. We had our first Refresh conference in Durban, South Africa, and we really began to look at how could we have these retreats. And so we're super excited to be bringing the unveiling of Africa Exhale Retreats 2024. So we want to invite you to join us, invite those people who are making a difference in the world to come and refresh, connect, renew, and restore. And we'll also be having some in, we'll have our Ubuntu Global Mastermind will be later in the year in South Africa. So that's my announcement. I also want to take a moment before I give you the quote of the day and before we get into our journal exercise, is why we're doing a journaling exercise. I'll say more, but this weekend we're going to offer on Sunday journaling for the new year online mini retreat. So we've been specializing in online retreats since 2021, and where we have our healing racism journaling experience. And now we will be having a journaling experience right for us on this Sunday. It will be evening time. here in Chicago, and we invite you to register and join us. So let me get to our quote for the day and then get into the question. I want to say a big greetings to the awesome poet, Hetty Simmons. Good to see you. Good to be with you, and Happy New Year. Listen, I hope you have a piece of paper or your journal. I'm bringing the one that I'm using now. Um, and you can have a piece of paper for this. I'm going to ask one of our questions, and also greeting Lilian in Rwanda. Kigali is in the building, in the virtual building. And so it's so great to see everyone. Happy New Year. I want to let you know now that we'll be back tomorrow, same time, and I will be bringing another journaling question. But as I said, um, we are having the journaling event on Sunday. And what I want to give you this quote first before I get into our question of the day. Let me get this quote together here. Again, if you're just joining us, share this with your peoples, with a friend, with a colleague. We're also on LinkedIn. Share this on your pages. I want to just offer this exercise as a way of refreshment. Somebody type refresh in the comments. Refresh, refresh, refresh. That's what it's all about. So listen, as I was preparing for today, um, and really this was a message for me, but I want to share it with you that sometimes God is answering your prayer, but you have to slow down to see it. Sometimes God is answering our prayers, but we have to slow down to see it. And so sometimes the things that we're planning for, we're hoping for, we're praying for, when we just take a moment and breathe, we can look up and see that very thing we've been praying for, we've been hoping for is here. It's happened. And so that happened to me today. And one of the things being back in the US, there's this sense of busyness. I don't know if you all feel it, but coming back, it was just a different way of being when I was in Rwanda. And I found myself, I had a lot of great meetings with people, had time to meet people like even Lilian and others. But when I'm back here, I'm on this schedule and I'm moving forward. And so one of my mentors, she had posted that she's going to be at an event on Saturday. And my first response was, "Oh, I'm so busy. I'm so busy." I didn't say that to her, but that's what I was thinking. And then I stopped. I said, "Well, you're not that busy." Like, and won't it be a joy to see her and see all these people and experience a new place? And when I was in Rwanda and had the same experience in South Africa, it was like the newness of the place allowed me to enjoy what was around me more. And so I just want to give you this quote. Sometimes God has answered your prayer, or what you've been planning for, hoping for, praying for is right in front of you, but you have to slow down to see it. So that might be something you want to journal about, answered prayers. But today we're going to do something a little different. And yes, this is a time of refreshment. So I want to get right into it. As we're in the new year, I'm going to have two questions. I'm going to ask the first one today. And then after that, tomorrow, I have a special question. And again, I really want to invite you all to register to join us for our retreat on Sunday, journaling for the new year. And let me get this ready for us. So I'm actually going to ask two questions. And if you have your journal or your piece of paper or your notebook, I want you to write down the side of your notebook numbering 1 to 15. 1 to 15. And usually, if you're in the session with me, I don't know if you can see my 1 to 15, but I ask people to write 1 to 100. But for the sake of time, we're going to write 1 to 15 down the side of your paper. If you don't have your journal, that's fine. But I encourage you to get a journal. And you might have heard me talking yesterday before I came on the broadcast. There was just something that was not sitting well with me. I was like, what is it? And I wasn't really sure. Um, and so I just took a moment to move away from my desk. I have a place, and in fact, I think on one of our journaling experiences, I'll do a broadcast from a special place I have here that I just go and sit. And I took a few deep breaths, and I took my journal and just began to write until I could see what was it that was bothering me. So a lot of times journaling is a way to get in touch with where your heart is, where you are. It's a great way to brainstorm. It's a great way for your creativity, but it's also really good for our self-care. And I know people use self-care, the term, a lot, and I don't mind it. We need to take care of ourselves, but a lot of times, the body, when we don't move our emotions through or get in touch with where we are, sometimes our body will react. And so it's good for us to be able to debrief, decompress, de-stress. So you'll hear me say that a lot. So at first, I'm gonna ask two questions. The first one, we're just gonna take a few minutes, and if you would just write down all the things you are thankful for today in this moment. Maybe you don't have a piece of paper and you are one who likes to type on your phone. That's fine if you want to do that. Sometimes it's good to have a journal, to handwrite, but if you journal, um but what are you thankful for? And Hetty says journaling is very therapeutic. It really is. It really is. And so I'm going to ask again, what are you thankful for? What are you grateful for? What are you thanking God for? And let's just take a minute or two, and maybe you have 100 things. I don't know, but let's just write what we're thanking God for. Okay. Let me. What are you grateful for? What are you grateful for? Now, if you're doing this, this is a great way that people do this in the mornings. Um, Sometimes when I'm stressed out, it probably sounds like I'm stressed out all the time, but these are the tools I have. If I'm not thinking clearly, or if I have a lot of things I'm thinking about, or if I'm anxious about something that I need to do, I just take time to list out the things that I'm thankful for, even in the situation. Like right now, I'm thankful for this technology that we could connect across the country to Hetty, Simmons, across the world to Lillian, across um, geographic lines we are connecting. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for so many things. And so, this is one part when you come to our retreat that we do a session on gratitude, of course. And I wanted to start with this one. If you got your Thanksgivings down, why don't you type in the chat? I am grateful. I am grateful. And if you speak another language, go ahead and put that language, grateful, gratitude, uh, in the chat. Siyabonga in Zulu, Miracle Sichani means thank you in Kenya, Rwanda. Go ahead and put that in the chat. Now, for the second part, before we move to the second part, I'm going to invite you to look at the list that you're thankful for and just begin to read those out loud to yourself. Read it out loud. What are you thankful for? I want to say, if you're just joining us, this is Dr. LaDonna Sanders and Kosi. I am the host and creator of Globalcast. And we are here today doing a journaling exercise because we are hosting journaling for the new year this Sunday. And we would love for you to come. You can register to come, and we'll put the registration in the links in the comments for you, or you'll find actually the registration on all of our pages: LinkedIn, Instagram, uh, YouTube, Facebook. You'll find the registration there. Okay, now that you've looked at and you said your Thanksgiving, so if you just joined us, instead of just watching this, pause the video and go ahead and do this journaling exercise. Grab a journal. This is my journal. Grab a notebook, a piece of paper. It's sometimes good to have your journal, because, or something you keep your writings, because when you go back and read it, you'll be like, wow, I thought of this idea and we're now doing it. Or here's what was going on for me New Year's 2024. um Yes. And Hetty says, I'm grateful for health, peace, love, joy. She's grateful for me, time, and truth. Grateful, grateful, grateful. All right. So this next one is one that I bring to the table when it comes to moving the new year. And I'm going to tell you something about tomorrow, which I should keep everyone in suspense. So you come back tomorrow. But tomorrow, we're going to be talking about what is our big dream. What is your big dream for 2024? What is your big dream ahead? And when you come to the retreat, we'll help you to look at how do you live into that big dream, because you've heard me speak about um, the world is waiting for us to step in and do and be that which God has called us to do and be. In you, in me, in each one are the answers that the world needs. But we're not going to write about that today. Certainly, you can write about that after this broadcast, and then come and join us tomorrow. Come and join us on the retreat. But I wanted to get to this question because there is life in this question. And so, are you ready? If you're ready, type ready in the chat, ready in the comments. Are you ready? Okay, this is our second question, our last question for today. But it's a big one. So as we begin, are y'all ready? As we begin 2024, what do you need to let go? What do you need to let go? And what do you need to release? Now, if we were in a retreat before the new year, this might be a question that was asked. What do you need to leave behind in 2023 uh, in order to move into 2024? But I want to ask you today, and we'll ask this in our retreat, and I ask this to my clients and the leaders that I advise and people that I journey with. Often we know what we're praying for, the vision we have, the assignment we have, but there's some things we need to release or let go. It might be, I don't want to tell you what it is because this is journaling. So I want you to journal before I say too much. What you need to let go and release is different, perhaps, than me, but let's just take a few moments. What do you need to let go? What do you need to release? So you can start at the top of your paper. You can actually start a fresh sheet of paper. What do I need to let go? What do I need to release? Now, we're not in the retreat. So, but for some people, that's a who I need to let go. It may be a way of being. It may be something you wanted to let go before the new year, but you just didn't. But now that you're looking at what you want to experience, what you want to accomplish, what you're called to do for these times, what do you need to let go? And one way to do that again is just begin to journal, begin to write, begin to list out those things that come up. You don't have to judge them. And this list is for you. So nobody has to see it. What do you need to let go? What do you need to release? What do you need to let go? And what do you need to release? Again, if you see me looking around, I am monitoring all the comments on the various channels here. And I just want to acknowledge everyone who is on with us. What do you need to let go? And what do you need to release? Okay. So maybe you want to share in the chat what you're grateful for, or question one, what you're grateful for, or question two, what do you need to let go and what do you need to release? Hetty says, I let go of family's perspective and expectations of me. Wow, that's freedom. Letting go of people's expectations, and I release abundance into me. Amen, Hetty. That's awesome. That's awesome. I relate to what you said about people's expectations. And for me, as I was journaling toward the new year, I had to begin to let go of old expectations. It's a new day, a new season. And I was holding on to some visions or ideas of how I should be or life should be that I had 5 years ago and realizing what I said to you all in the beginning, and that is I looked around and God, once I slowed down, I saw God has answered a lot of the prayers I have. When I go back to the old journals, I'm living the life I prayed about. And yet so I had to let go of old expectations. So I relate to what you're saying. So I want to leave you with these two questions today. um, these are two of the questions in our retreat. We have a series of questions, and as I said before, our theme for January is do more of what you love. So I am just committed to assist people in living into the place that God has called them to. So part of that is us getting a big vision of who God, what God has said, who we are, or what we're called to do. And sometimes people don't even have the freedom or the space or the time to stand still to get clear about that. So, a lot of our retreats, whether they're online or in person, whether we come to your workplace or your church or organization, um, we actually yeah, I see someone. Hello, Prophet Shamel Solomon. Greetings. What I want to say is we help people to get clear about the vision for their life, for their new year. What are their goals? But sometimes there's things that are in the way that we have to let go. So I really want you to journal about that. If you come to the retreat on Sunday, we'll get into that more. And I do also want to say that some people have requested that they have their own personal retreat because they're not able to make it on Sunday. So we do have an option if you are interested in booking your own personal retreat. You can definitely do that. And you'll just drop us a line and we will get that to you. But let me come back over here. So I want to give you, before we close out, I want to give you one last question to journal about overnight and then come back tomorrow and we'll get into it. But first, I want to say join us for journaling for the new year. We're putting the link in the chat, and join us for journaling for the new year. It's coming up this Sunday, and we're super excited about it. Again, if you want to book your own journaling experience or you want to book it with a group of friends and families, you can. We're doing this for the month of January. You can drop us a line at globalteam@revladonna.global. We offer these virtually. We do offer them in person. However, virtually is best. We could do some in person depending on the travel requirements, as I will be going back to the continent of Africa. So you would need to book that right away. But listen, let me get to this last question I want to leave us with before we close out. And that is this. I'm gonna ask this tomorrow, but I want to give this to you now. I thought I had it. Hold on one second. I want to ask you, what is your big dream? What is your big dream for 2024? Your big hope, your big dream? I want to ask you, and I don't mean necessarily what you dreamed last night. Um, I'm asking, what is your big dream? And what do you want to see happen in 2024 regarding your big dream? Um, and this is what we're going to get at tomorrow. What is your big dream? I have this typed in, but I don't see it right now. So I'm asking you this because I had this amazing mentor, and she asked me this one time, and I've always, since a little girl, been a visionary, a dreamer. But nobody as an adult had ever asked me that. And as she asked that, and I began to tell her, and then I began to journal about it, this dream has come to life. So I want to be the one to ask you this. So tonight, over this weekend, I invite you to journal about it, to pray about it, to listen for God about it. Don't be afraid to dream. Our forerunners who came before us, they dreamed beyond what they saw to a life that was bigger than what was there. There were many barriers, but they saw beyond that into something else. And many of us are living in that. So I want to be to ask you, what is your big dream? When we get back together tomorrow, same time, we'll have that question. We'll begin to able to hear from you if you want to share a little bit. Now, I want to say our retreat is a virtual retreat. So, what is different about it is it actually, we will be online in a Zoom room. So, we'll be communicating together. We'll be able to hear what is your dream, your vision, what are the blocks that are in the way of your vision, what are you letting go. I love this theme that we have, do more what you love, because people don't usually ask you, what is it that you love? Like, what is it you want to do? When I was in Rwanda, it was so funny. I went to dance class all the time and I had the best time. It was the best workout. The thing about it though is it was entirely like these dances I did not know how to do. So it was it was very intense. It was not always easy, but it was so fun. And I was like, I loved dancing. Like, and people would say to me, we didn't know you danced, though I do Zumba here in Chicago for the workout. But then it took me back as a little girl, and I didn't even remember until I was being interviewed for the newspaper. I went to dancing school as a little girl. And so it's like, I was like, when I get back to Chicago, I'm going to do more dancing. But what is your big dream? And tomorrow we'll get into that and we'll talk more about, do more about what you love. Hetty says, I love what you're doing. And you'll try to see us tomorrow. Awesome. Yeah, come back tomorrow and listen. I want to thank you all for joining me as we get ready to close this week. I think I've gone live more on this platform than ever in a row. And when I was in Rwanda, I ended up doing reels, 30 days of living the dream. And it really challenged me beyond great measure, but it also allowed me to meet people, to share what was happening in Rwanda. And so I really wanted to break out of my shell and get online with you all. And I miss being in community. So this is a great way to do that. So I want to thank you all for joining us today. We will see you again tomorrow, same time. God bless you. God keep you. God loves you. Continue to journal. Continue to consider your big dream. Reflect on what you're thinking God for, and consider what you love as well. This is Dr. LaDonna greeting you, and we're looking forward to being back with you. Remember, you're cordially invited to join us on our Africa Exhale retreats, and I'll share more about that tomorrow. We'll put some information in the link so you can join our mailing list. God bless you. God loves you. And we'll see you again soon. Thank you. Thank you. Amen. Bless you too.